Hello students, welcome to my new module on solar physics. This module will be divided into two parts. In the first part, I am going to discuss about some basic facts related with the sun and also the solar atmosphere. The sun is getting hotter these days, so it is creating a pain going outside in the hot sun. But a few days ago, during the winter time, we were enjoying to sit before the sun. So, uh, the life on the earth is due to the sun. The sun is the most important celestial object for our earth, as there is no life without the sun. So, we are going to discuss in this lecture scientific facts related with the sun. These are some useful constants known as astronomical constants related with the uh, values of the sun, like solar mass having the value 1.9891 into 10 raised to power 30 kilogram. Solar mass is represented with a subscript capital M having the subscript uh, a large circle with a small dot. This is a symbol of sun. So its solar mass, therefore M is having this subscript. The another parameter is solar irradiance having the value 1.365 into 10 raised to power 3 watt per meter square. Then solar luminosity L is equal to 3.839 into 10 raised to power 26 watt. Solar radius 6.95508 into 10 raised to power 8 meter. Solar effective temperature of the surface, it is represented by this formula using Stefan Boltzmann law. T is equal to luminosity upon 4 pi sigma r square power 1.4 and having the value 5777 Kelvin. There are another useful constants, and these are used in the study of astrophysics and study of solar physics, like gravitational constant, speed of light, permeability and permittivity of free space, electric charge, electron volt, Planck constant, reduced Planck constant h bar is equal to h upon 2 pi, Planck's constant into speed of light, Boltzmann constant k, and Stefan Boltzmann constant sigma. Sigma is equal to 5.67 into 10 raised to power minus 8 watt per meter square per Kelvin power 4. Uh, let us try to know some basic facts related with the sun. The sun is by far the largest object in the solar system. It contains more than 99.8% of the total mass of the solar system. There are many more smaller stars than larger ones. The sun is in the top 10% by mass. Okay, so by mass, sun is massive enough than the other stars. Only around 10% total stars of the universe are more massive than the sun. The sun is personified in many mythologies. The Greeks called it Helios, and the Romans called it Sol. The sun is at present about 70% hydrogen and 28% helium by mass. Everything else amounts to less than 2%. Okay, in less than 2% are other metals or other elements. So majority is 70% hydrogen and 28% helium are the constituent of the sun. But this ratio also changes slowly over time as the nuclear fusion progresses. The hydrogen converts into the helium. So this percent also changes slowly over the time. Sun is not a solid body like the Earth. It mainly contains the fluid, the gases. So it's not a solid. Conditions at the Sun's core are extreme. Okay, I will discuss the extreme conditions, and core is defined by approximately the inner 25% of its radius is known as the core. The temperature is 15.6 million Kelvin and the pressure is 250 billion atmosphere at the core. Okay, 250 billion atmosphere. It's huge. At the center of the core, the sun's density is more than 150 times that of water. Okay. So these are the extreme conditions at the center of the sun. When the moon goes around the earth, it sometimes finds itself between the earth and the sun. This is called a solar eclipse and makes the earth dark while the moon shuts out most of the sun's light. Okay, so we all know about the solar eclipse. The sun has a very strong magnetic field. The sun produces solar winds. Solar winds are a stream of particles from the sun that stream out into space. I will discuss in detail. The sun is about 4.5 billion years old. Since its birth, it has used up about half of the hydrogen in its core. It will continue to radiate peacefully for another 5 billion years or so. So, sun has almost completed its half-lifetime. The solar atmosphere. The visible solar atmosphere consists of three regions: the photosphere, the chromosphere, and the solar corona. Most of the visible light comes from the photosphere. This is the part of the sun we actually see. So light comes from the photosphere. That's why its name is photosphere. Photo comes from the photosphere. The chromosphere and corona also emit white light and can be seen when the light from the photosphere is blocked out, as occurs in the solar eclipse. So actually photosphere is very bright, so we can see the corona or chromosphere part only when there is solar eclipse. When the photosphere is blocked out, then we can see the chromosphere and the corona. Different types of radiation such as radio, ultraviolet, X-ray and gamma rays originate from different parts of the sun. I will discuss in detail. This picture I have taken from the book of An Introduction to Modern Astrophysics by Carroll. This picture basically explains the solar atmosphere region. This darkest part is the solar interior part. This outer approximately 500 kilometer region is photosphere part. This after photosphere, the outer layer is chromosphere and the outermost layer is corona. There is a very thin transition region between chromosphere and corona. This is known as the transition region. Okay, around 100 kilometer width is transition region. We can see the photosphere is the innermost part of the solar atmosphere and corona is the outermost, and chromosphere lies in between these two layers. The lowest layer of the sun's atmosphere is the photosphere. It's about 300 miles, about 500 kilometers thick. This layer is where the sun's energy is released at light. Because of the distance from the sun to earth, light reaches our planet in about 8 minutes. we all know. The photosphere is marked by bright bubbling granules of plasma and darker cooler sunspots which emerge when the sun's magnetic field breaks through the surface. I will explain the sunspot and the photosphere uh, picture in the next slide. Sunspots appear to move across the sun's disk. Observing this motion led astronomers to realize that the sun rotates on its axis. So, observing that the sunspots appear to move across the sun's disk, astronomers realized that the sun rotates on its axis. Since the sun is a ball of gas with no solid form, different regions rotate at different rates. The sun's equatorial regions rotate in about 24 days, while the polar regions take more than 30 days to make a complete rotation. So equatorial regions rotates in less time, in just 24 days, while the polar region takes around 30 days or more than 30 days. This is the picture of the photosphere, sun's photosphere. This is the granular part observed like granules on the surface of the photosphere, and these black spots are known as sunspots. These darker black spots are known as the sunspots. So I will discuss in detail about the sunspots. Okay. The photosphere is also the source of the solar flares. Solar flares are basically tongues of fire that extend hundreds of thousands of miles above the sun's surface. I will discuss its effect and the details of the solar flares. Solar flare produce bursts of X-rays, ultraviolet radiation and electromagnetic radiation and radio waves. Okay. Then the next layer is the chromosphere. The chromosphere is an irregular layer above the photosphere where the temperature rises from 6000 degrees centigrade to about 20,000 degrees centigrade. Okay, so photosphere temperature is 6000 while the chromosphere can go up to 20,000 degrees centigrade. At these high temperatures, hydrogen emits light that gives off a reddish color, and this is due to H-alpha line of the hydrogen spectrum. That's why its name is chromosphere, because the light emitted from this part is reddish, red color. Okay, color means chrome. At other times, light from the chromosphere is usually too weak to be seen against the brighter photosphere. The chromosphere may play a role in conducting heat from the interior of the sun to its outermost layer, the corona. So basically, chromosphere is an intermediate region which transfers heat from the photosphere or inner core of the sun up to the corona, the outermost layer of the sun. So this is the picture taken during an eclipse. So when the photosphere is blocked, this central dark region is blocked, then we can see the edges as having the red color, and these are basically representing the chromosphere part. This picture I have taken from the Wikipedia. Then continuing the chromosphere, while the photosphere has an absorption line spectrum, the chromosphere spectrum is dominated by emission lines. It's important to understand photosphere has absorption lines dominantly, but chromosphere has the dominated by the emission lines. Analyzing the spectrum of the chromosphere, the temperatures of this layer increases with increasing height in the chromosphere itself. So from the spectrum of the chromosphere, as height above the sun layer getting higher, getting increased, the temperature also increases in the chromosphere. This is, however, the opposite of what we find in the photosphere. where the temperature drops with the increasing height. So this is the difference between photosphere and chromosphere. Okay. The outermost part is the sun, solar corona. The corona is the outer atmosphere of the sun. It extends many thousands of kilometers above the visible surface of the sun, gradually transforming into the solar wind that flows outward through our solar system. Okay, so basically it is the source of the solar wind. The material in the corona is an extremely hot but very tenuous plasma. Extremely hot but not very dense, very tenuous, less very less density of plasma. Okay, so it is having the hot but tenuous plasma, the corona. The name corona is very popular these days due to this virus, the pandemic creating virus. But the first name was given to the sun outermost layer. The temperature in the corona is more than 1,000,000 degrees, surprisingly much hotter than the temperature at the sun surface, which is just around 5,700 degrees centigrade. So the temperature in the corona is more than 1,000,000 degrees. Okay? And this is mystery. The people are trying to understand why this kind of behavior is shown by the corona. The pressure and density in the corona is much lower than in Earth's atmosphere. The pressure and density both are very small. A relatively narrow area called the transition region separates the corona from the chromosphere. Temperature rise sharply in the transition region from thousands of degrees in the chromosphere to more than 1,000,000 degrees in the corona. The density of plasma falls rapidly through the transition region, moving upward from the chromosphere to the corona. So density falls while the temperature rises from the chromosphere to the corona. So this is the picture showing the corona part taken during the eclipse, and the second one was taken in the ultraviolet light. So this flare kind of structure is represented by the corona part. These flares coming out of the solar atmosphere are representing the corona. Okay. So in preparing this lecture, I have taken the content from these sources. So I have mentioned all these sources here. Okay. Thank you very much for your kind presence. And the next lecture I am going to discuss more about the solar physics. Okay. Thank you very much.